One of my favorite quotes is the Schopenhauer quote. You probably know it. Talent hits a target no one else can hit. Genius hits a target no one else can see. So if you want to become peerless as an organization and use your data to help you get there, you got to dream.
That's a very cool quote from
I
Schopenhauer
love show. I know.
there.
I know. He was a big downer, but that was a good one.
Nice. So I think one of the big problems when you start thinking about, well, okay, I need to make a decision, I've got this data, is when the data is counter to your intuition about what should happen.
Oh,
So do you have
don't you
any?
hate that?
Yeah.
We all hate that.
Have you
Yeah.
got any advice for what to do in this situation?
Yes. So if you're alone, if you're by yourself and the data is telling you that you shouldn't do something that you want to do, now's the time to lean back and ask yourself, I need to think about my thinking right now. That's metacognition. Metacognition just means thinking about thinking. How am I thinking about this? Is it really a life and death matter? Is it really just going to get my goat that I can't do the thing that my intuition wants me to do? And of course, this is in high stakes situations. Again, back to the ice cream. If you're choosing your ice cream flavor, what's the worst that'll happen? You won't like it and you'll go get a different flavor. Big deal. It's a $5 decision. And then you can ask yourself, what is affecting me right now? Who is impacting me? Managers and leaders, and indeed all of us, have people in our environment that are pulling for one thing or another, or trying to influence us, or they have an agenda. If you have a big team, you got a bunch of agendas operating. And if all you do is just say, what's affecting me right now? And how am I responding to that? See, I'm trying not to use the word feeling here. How am I responding to that? Just to increase your awareness of the effects. And then finally, what do I normally do? Do I normally go with my gut? I just published an article in Fast Company about when you shouldn't go with your gut. And you hear leaders say, well, my gut's really good. That's because they haven't collected the data and done a retrospective on their important decisions, right? So they think they're imagining that they're really good at this gut level stuff. So you're testing a hypothesis there. So I'll give you an example of the emotion. I had a client when I used to be a stockbroker a long time ago before I went to grad school. And in fact, being a stockbroker what led me to study psychology because I couldn't figure out why all these smart people were making such terrible decisions with their money. I was like, and certainly I would never do that. Well, I learned that it wasn't stupid people, it was humans. Had a woman who was in her mid 60s. She had very little money in retirement, but she did have an account with us. She emptied the account one day, took a check, took all her money out, and gave it to her son in law to open a retail store. No risk there. No amount of conversation with her, no amount of data and facts about the historically risky thing she was about to do would convince her. And as you can tell, that's been decades ago. I can't stop thinking about that woman occasionally and what happened to her, because your listeners will know that the data tells us a brand new retail store opened by someone with no retail experience is probably going to fail.